This is the architecture diagram for the Explore California in the lab in week 4 after you have implemented all the gateways. So what you could see here is the views is the same. Controllers, we've introduced a new general controller so that it can store all the basic operations, and we have the booking controller and the tour controller just inherit from this general controller. If you look at the source code, you can see that this is the general controller. It has a data gateway and it has basic it has common operations function that is shared by the tour controller and the booking controller. For example, the index for the tour and bookings are the same, listing the details of on the tour or booking and create and edit. So these are the shared actions between the tour controller and the booking controller. So you can see that what I have here now is tour controller. This one is for inherits general controller. So what I'm saying here is my tour controller is a subclass of the general controller, and you can see that it reflects in my design here that I have a tour controller which is a subclass of the general controller, and it's the same for booking. If you open the booking class right now, you could see that the booking class is very simple, and we haven't basically the different action is basically to create, because creating a tour and creating a booking is different, and processing of data is different too. Creating and editing a tour or a booking is different. So these are the things that you can see are the differences in the two controllers. Back to this, you can see that the new thing that we have implemented for our data access layer, DAL, is an interface, iData Gateway. So the interface basically specify the operations. As you can see that it looks like a class, but it just have the operation and the methods. It doesn't have any implementation, so we call it an interface. And if you look at the design, we have the data gateway. This stands for implements an interface. So if you look at the data gateway, alright, and this one stands for implements, inherits, and because this is an interface, so the data gateway basically implement this interface. What it does is it has all the implementation for all of the methods in the data gateway interface. So this is the interface that specify what operations and whatever class that implement the interface need to implement all of the operation that has been specified. So the gateway deal with the database context. Okay, so you can see that our data gateway have a context, and from this context we basically can get the data set from the database. So on the data sets that we specify here, the moment you run the application, the context class will make connection to the database and populate this DB set with the data from the database. Okay, so our data gateway has a Explore California context class, and there are two subclasses, which is the tour gateway and the booking gateway, because they share very similar operations. If you look at the booking gateway right now, you could see that there's nothing much. So basically booking gateway is still using all of the operation from the superclass, which is the data gateway. However, the tour gateway has a little bit more function here. As you can see, basically it is to it has method for functions such as you can sort all the tours by price, or you can select a drop down list of tours and see only tour within a range. So if you run Explore California, you can see a list of tour here. Okay, and this is the customized view that you can see, and you can see on the tours within a price range. So those action that you've seen in the tour gateway is for that. Other than that, it actually use all of the operation from the general class, which is the data gateway. Okay, so that are the changes in the data access layer. Let's move on to the models. The models remain the same, as in we have the tour, and each tour can correspond to one or more booking. Alright, so it is one-to-many relationship that you can see here. However, we have something which is called a price range. It is purely a domain class. What it means is that you won't see it in the database. How do you know that this price range is not in the database? Because if you look at Explore California context, you don't see it here. Whatever is not in here is not in your database. Okay, so let's look at the price range class. It is under your model, right? So the price range is here. What it does is that it has your domain logic about the price range. So basically, it create different ranges of price of the tours that you want to see. It does some domain logic. For example, you want to get the upper value of a range, or you want to set the selected range price, you want to get the lower range. So basically it is a domain class that stores some of your domain logic, and it doesn't need to be in your database. And this is a place where the use of domain model in your domain layer is good, because not everything need to be in your database. So we don't need a price range gateway for that reason. So price range is used in the tour gateway. I'm sorry, it is used. It is used in the tour controller. Sorry, it is used in the tour controller to get the list of the price ranges, and then it is also used to get the lower range value. It is used to pass the lower range value and the upper range value to the tour gateway. Alright, so the tour gateway, if you go to the tour gateway, you can see that you can select tour by price range, and this is the responsibility of the tour gateway. So basically what it does is that it actually query the data that you get from the database to just get a list of tour within this range. Alright, and this is to give you a quick look of this function. Alright, and this is basically a function to just sort by price. So if you go to the tour index, the view, alright, if you go to the index, what you could see is that we have this drop down list of all the price ranges, and when you click on one item in the drop down list, it be redirected to this tour index with the ID of the item that has been selected, and in that case this action will be called, and the ID of the price range that has been selected will be processed here. Okay, go back to this one thing here, which is the price link that you can see, which is this one. So when you click this one, it will be redirected to the tour controller, but it's different action: index, sort by price. So if you go to the tour controller, this is index sort by price, and it is basically using the tour gateway, the select all sort by price function. Alright, so that's all. That is the new design for the Explore California application. The sequence diagram for creating a new tour should be the same, as in it will get the request, is passed into the tour controller. The tour controller will communicate with the tour gateway to basically display a list of tour. However, there's more step though, because now you need to not just display, but also if you click the price, it will display sorted by price, and selecting by price range will lead to different more steps. But basically the classes that is participating in this interaction is the same.